and I said, don't do it. Now I've put it on. Hello again. Now I'll explain what that comment was as we go through the process of video. The AMO, right, okay, I've been asked to do a video on this, which I'm over the moon, because when people ask me to do things, I'm very grateful. Now, as for the brand itself, you've all seen videos in the past that I have done on various brands, and the AMO is a brand that I have not personally come across a lot across the island of Ireland. I have spoken to a lot of people, I've asked people on Discord, but again, perhaps it has a certain niche in a certain country. Not many videos, in my opinion, that are easily come across that go on about the AMO brand. So I have been in touch with them, and I'll explain about that later on. And I got this. Now, I got this. A friend of mine bought me this, believe it or not, as a present. I got it from Skirm Shop some months back. And yeah, I picked it because it was a little bit different. I'm sure you appreciate that. It's very solidly made. Now, it says it's basically waterproof and shockproof. Okay. Now, I bought it with the intention of sticking it on basically when I had it then, and I've got it back for today, my sniper rifle, my Scout sniper rifle. Now, it's very, shall we say, robust. It's very strong, okay? Definitely well made. There's no doubt about that, okay? I'll show you more in-depth photographs, okay? It is like this, what would you call it? Square type, block type design, okay? Yeah, now in the box, I haven't got any more, okay? You get a lens extender, shader, protector, whatever you want to call it, and you get two very strong caps that go on the end, okay? And they basically screw on quite easily, okay? Now, they say it's around about 400 grams, 350 to 400 grams in weight. Don't know who was weighing that, but we'll leave that there. Okay. The sight itself comes in two main colors. You have the red and you have the green that's highlighted by your adjuster here. Okay, and it's a CR 2032 battery that just clicks into there. I don't need to start taking off. I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times, all right? Tightened on, and again, that's your adjuster with your types of illumination. Okay, I mean, it's all right. Now, what I found interesting for me when I got it, now I might have missed it, but the instructions didn't actually talk about the adjustments. They did talk about windage and that, but they didn't actually say this, that to adjust, you actually pull, you extend it out. It comes on a little, pulls out a little bit, you adjust, and then to confirm or secure, you press it back in. And that was both on the elevation and obviously your left to right windage alterations, if you want to put it that way. Now, when you look at this scope, you might think, looking at this big bracket area here at the front, that initially that's what you look through, because you just look at it. But actually, it's this part with this little canopy hood type thing at the back. And the sight is adjustable there for, obviously, clarity. Okay? So, again, it's very well made. Now, at the front here, this is what I was saying about before. This is where, watch me make balls up of this. This goes on. Okay, I'm sure you can hear that. And it extends it. So it has that unique look with it, if you think about it, okay? And again, as I said, the caps go on to the end. Again, you can take that off, put the caps on as well. The bracket is very sturdy, very sturdy. And it is basically like a bolt type effect to type onto the rifle. I just use a little type cheap TMU spanner. Oh, don't know if I should have said that. And it connects on. Now, to use it, right, okay. Trying to be nice. I really am trying to be nice. Now, with most of the scopes I've used, okay, you have to get it exact, okay? So your eye is at that exact position where you get the full picture, okay? Do you know what I mean? And you all know, those of you that use scopes a lot, you know that if you even move your head. And that's the difference between this and I find with CV Life and some of the products I've been working with them on, okay, is that when I move my head slightly, I can still see full picture. With this, no, you actually have to be exact. And that's one other reason I was talking to someone in the shop the other day about this, because they were talking to me about different scopes. And I said, if you use this on a reflex, it's not going to work. Let me show you. Now, I'm going to show you a problem straight away with using any form like this type of rifle, okay? Now, I was in a shop, one of the guys came up to me and he noticed that I had it on one of my videos, and he said to me, what did I think of it? He wanted to put it onto this particular rifle, which is similar to this, okay? And I said, don't do it. Now, I've put it on, I've put it right to the rear, okay? Now, the reason why I say don't is because that, look how stretched over I am. For me to get a full picture, I've basically got my nose clicking off the charging handle. Whereas when some of the other scopes that I use, I can sit here quite comfortably back and it'll be very cut and I can just use it. Secondly, this is more for the sniper rifle. So that is the reason why I said do not use this particular scope on that particular rifle. Let's have a look at something else. Now, you all know the Scout rifle. You all recognize it. Very popular, the VSR-1. Now, this is probably what it's built more for, and I think it needs to be explained a little bit more. Because, yes, I can see a little bit better now because of my head is at a degree of an angle that I am not impeded. Are you with me? So then, it's a little bit easier, okay? The thing is, though, we have certain issues with it as well. Let me explain. For instance, see the bolts? If you are watching, just saying, I doubt you are, AMO, or even any other designer of scopes, you got to remember, most of us that game, okay, might during the day change our different types of scopes. Because it depending on the game or depending on the mission, we might want to change. This one is very awkward. The bolts on this are very, very narrow. So when I'm taking this off, every time I drop the clamps, every time, even when I'm very careful, the clamps come out and then I've got to look for them and pick them up. I know if I'm in the field or I'm on a game, as I said, and I drop a clamp, that's me bugger, okay? Because I might want to change. Now, not necessarily on the Scout Sniper, but if I'm going to adjust it on certain rifles. So I'm just saying, one of the biggest things I come across with this scope particularly, if I'm going to put this on this type of rifle, I'm going to have to clamp it on. I do love not being foot and thumb tights, work perfect, but as soon as you undo them to take it out off the rail, the pins fall out. So that's an added problem. Everything has to be quick. Everyone knows that. If you're going from mission to mission to mission to mission, which a lot of them do, unless you're on one of the big Muslim games that I'm going on, believe it or not, this weekend at FRV, you really only have sometimes minutes to get everything sorted because this site might not be working for this particular rifle on that particular game. And as I've already showed you, the problem it can have on certain rifles. And there's one last thing I want to show you. The last thing in the context of the rails is this. It doesn't always fit on all rails. Okay? It doesn't always marry up. And that can be an issue. Now, I'm going to say this again. I'm not here to run down anything. I don't believe in that, okay? All right? However, the issues I see with this is if you are going to attach it to your rifle, okay, because of these clamps, you're going to be fiddling around a bit to get it to that exact point. Then you're going to have to basically zero it, align it, and then if you take it off, you're going to have to make sure, with most scopes as well, you put it exactly on. You also then have to double check, will it actually, and I'm sure you can see there by the small, okay, the bolts, will it actually fit your particular rail? Okay, because I did plan on putting that on, to tell you the truth. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, hang on.
What should we do to pass the time?
I forgot. Was this a sight protector, scope protector, kill flash, whatever you want to call it? The problem is with this particular scope, and I did get in touch with them, AMO, and I did have a few conversations with a very nice person called Ellie in China. And after a few chit chats, it was realized that there is not one. There's not. I actually went to Skirm Shop and I spoke to the guys, and they were quite bemused as well. And we thought, could we put a 32 on there? Then we thought, okay, we're going to have to adjust it. There's certain things I've still got to have a chat with people and come up with an idea. But the suggestion was given to me was to buy one of them. Then the second suggestion was, why do we need one? I mean, come on, Will. Is a BB really going to hit that and damage that? Because it's coated. It's got HD coating, you know. Okay, so it's got all these things coated to it. But the thing is, that will be wasted. If that gets one single BB straight up beside that, especially by some of you guys that fire HPA. Say no more. The thing is, that site's then wrecked. Then you've got the problems. So I'm going to start off with the cons. Cons are quite simple. You're not going to get a protector. Okay? You're going to have to get a flip one. You're going to have to keep that clean. That's another added bit of kit you got to keep clean and wipe down. Okay? I'm just saying. Whereas these things are brilliant. I did suggest to make them. Okay? Just production line. You will sell them or sell them as part of it. Okay? It does have a problem with the bolts. I've said that. And it makes sure it fits your particular rail, because you'll buy it, you'll think it's cool, you'll stick it on, and it don't work. So you do, I'm not being funny, there are these old pros and cons. But will I keep it? Of course I will. Yeah, I'll add it to some form of project that's coming up, and I'm hopefully that then it'll get its use, which I have no problem that it will. On that, I've got two big projects coming up, and I don't want to mention one because I don't want to put anybody on pressure. I have been approached by a shop, and they have said to me, well, would you take these 3 rifles and will you do a review to your followers? And I went, obviously. So I'm just waiting for these brand new models to arrive, and I'm going to grab them, and then I'm going to present them to you over a series of 3 weeks. And they're all 3 totally different types for different types of players, which I'm looking forward to. Secondly is this. Okay, this is my ASK 204P. I hope I said that right. Okay, you've seen a video on it. I got my hands on it, and it was someone's, and they didn't want it, and it's now ended up in my secure safe. I really am keen to work out what can we do with this. How can we do this the way I have just modified the Chris Vector, the Crytek. I am really keen. And if there's any ideas out there, or anyone wants to send me any pictures or any information, yes, I am looking definitely changing the internal parts, but I want to look at more of the aesthetics as well. What about this? What about this? Can I make this that has had a bit of a rundown? It's an electric blowback. Can I make this more impressive is the word. Thank you for watching. I hope all is well with you. And as always, bye for now.